Hi, my soapy sunflowers, it's Heather. Today we're going to be making hard lotion roll-ups. I know you guys are all very excited for this, and I'm excited to show you. So I'm just going to show you some of the items that you can use while making this. I'm going to be making mine with the green and the pink because I will be using the fragrance Baja Cactus Flower, and I just kind of thought those went together. I will also be showing you two ways to color. You can choose to color however you want, but I will be showing it. I already pre-measured out my coconut oil just to make this video a little bit easy for you guys to watch. I try to make them as quick as possible. It doesn't always work out, but I try my hardest to make them very quick. I love these pour pitchers, but you're not going to be pouring anything, but they're great. Here are the containers that we use. Look how high that top is. So you can go pretty high on these sticks. I have just not been brave enough to go really high because I'm scared. I love these little jars these little beakers to be able to mix my colors in, or to already measure out my fragrance. They work really well and they hold up really well as well. If someone asked you what's the hardest thing to If someone was to ask you what is the hardest thing to melt, what would you say? Mine is beeswax. It takes forever to melt. But nonetheless, we are using beeswax in this recipe, and you are going to have to be patient on melting it. Next up, we're going to be using cocoa butter, and you had two different options. You can use refined or non-refined. And let me tell you, everybody so far is really liking the smell of cocoa and smelling like chocolate. So if it goes with your fragrance, go with it. If not, then use the unrefined, or excuse me, the refined, whatever, you get it. Use the white one. It works great. All right, I already have my fragrance measured out because I wanted to show you one of the ways that I do my colors. This first way is I take my fragrance, and you can split this in half and half for your two colors, but I just got the one here to show you because I want to show you the other way with the other color. But put your fragrance and your mica together and just mix them up. It seems to disperse it a little bit better. But honestly, the other way works just as well. You just have to mix a lot more, but I'll show you that here in a minute. Look how pretty that pink is, like, wow. And that mica is from Mad Micas. Now make sure you get yourself a really good piping bag. We won't talk about all the bust outs I've had because I've had plenty. Now with this, you have an option, you know, you're going to use whatever tip you want, but I prefer this bigger one just because it flows a little better and it fits down in there nicely. The smaller one, you have to push a lot harder and be a lot more patient with it. I just prefer the bigger one. You can mix the colors, they just look good. And of course, my handy dandy Wonka cup. Come on, guys, you know I'm a chocolatier, and we got to have the Wonka cup. Tuck it in there, flip it into itself, and then put it in your cup so nothing leaks out. It just works. It's just a little tip. Believe me, I have made plenty of messes in my life. That's just the fun of this business. I always seem to struggle bus with putting piping bags into cups. It's just my thing. All right, so we melted it down. I melt mine in the microwave, low and slow. We just go until it's melted, and let me tell you, beeswax takes forever, but here we are. Now I have not put in the coconut oil yet. There it is, all measured out, and we're going to put that in and let it melt down with the heat of the beeswax and the coconut butter, or excuse me, cocoa butter. Now I just stir and stir and stir, let it sit for a few minutes, stir some more. I'm just a very patient person, I guess. You can always put this in the microwave a few times on like 30 seconds to get it melted down, but I just do it this way because I like to keep all of the properties in my oils that I possibly can, and the beeswax is already a pain in the butt. But I like this mixer right now, this hand mixer. I just bought it. It seems to be doing me good so far, but usually I break these really easy. All right, do you see how it's starting to get thicker already? Just keep stirring, or like I said, you can 30 seconds here and there, get it melted down a little bit more. It's just going to take a little longer for it to cool down for you. So I just mix and mix and mix, and then I pull out my hand mixer and I break up all those clumps, because it will sometimes have little clumps in there. So this is the way that I kind of solve that. Kind of reminds me of like watery applesauce at this point. It's thick, but not thick enough to pipe. So right now is when I split into however many containers I'm going to use. I have did up to 4 colors. So yeah, you can split it off as many times as you want. I'm going to show you the other how to put mica in with the green here in a minute, because I need you to see that you can do it 2 different ways. It takes a little longer to do it this way just because the mica doesn't disperse as well, but it still works. You can still do it this way. But this is why I held off doing the green, because I wanted to show you both ways. Some will say, well, then the green won't have fragrance in it. This moment, there is no fragrance in the green, just because I chose to do it in the pink so I could show you this way. Normally, you would split it half and half for each color. So your fragrance would be half and half for the micas. But I'm showing you this way so you can get both sides of it. And for your fragrance, just make sure you follow your guidelines. I don't like to talk about how much fragrance to put into something, because there's guidelines for a reason, and so we follow those. After I get them both mixed up, I put them into, in my case, a freezer, so it goes faster, but you can put them in the fridge and let them thicken up a lot more. As it cools, it thickens. As you see, it's getting thicker. Usually the top and the sides will go thicker first, so you want to make sure you mix. If it's not at the consistency, then put it back into the freezer again, which I do after this. After I stir it all, I end up putting it back into the freezer again. Now I do another blend on these just to make sure that, first off, the mica is dispersed. That's my biggest thing, is making sure the mica is all the way through. There's no little specks or anything. You do your best trying to mix it. Sometimes it can be a pain. And in between this, I do wipe the blade before I put it into the pink. I know that part cut out, but I did. All right, so we had put it back in the freezer again, and I just keep a close eye on it. See how it's getting a lot thicker. You don't want to go much thicker before you start putting it into your piping bag. You could maybe go a little bit thicker than this, but I'm an anxious person and I was wanting to really do this. I was so excited, but I would wait maybe a little bit longer before you put it in your piping bag. But remember, you can put it in your piping bag and put the whole thing into the freezer. That's kind of what I did, is I ended up putting all of this into, after I put it into the piping bag, I put the cup and everything into the freezer and let it set up more in the bag. At this point, you do whatever design you want. I do like a starburst around, so I put green on different sides and then put pink, you know, in between those parts. I have did it different ways where I have kind of just plopped it in. I didn't put it up the sides at all. I just kept plopping it in back and forth with the colors all the way up. That was the first one I did, and it turned out really pretty. You can do also your balms in one color. You can do it with no color. You know, you do it how you want because this is your business. You know, you're doing this to make your little heart happy. And you hope that there's a lot of people out there in the world that like the things that you do and will buy them. I just love how bright these colors are. They're just fantastic. They're so bright. Like, you think that this is like amplified. It is not. This is how they look in real life. They are gorgeous. So with the pink, of course, I go into the negative spots that I didn't put the green, and I put the pink in there. And then I just end up, like I said, filling it up in the end, because as you're squeezing, and you will see when I make mine, it's going to come out in different colors throughout, and I really like it. I like the way, I mean, honestly, anything that's creative to you is beautiful, you know. So do as you want here, like I said, but look at that rainbow up there at the top right. Isn't that pretty? Here is where I just plop the rest of it into the top, because see how the green is up at the top there? When I squeeze, it's all going to come down. So I can get away with this because I did put the green from top to bottom all the way up. As long as you're scraping it up the sides, you know, you can do it that way as well. Look at me being messy as always. What's the fun in not being messy? So I put it into the freezer at this point. Of course, I've got to clean my mess up. Here we go to the fun part. This is after pulling it out of the freezer for a little bit. She is not too thick where I can't pipe it. Now stick it right down in there and start piping. Now, you will have better luck at this than I will, because I'm recording here trying to hold the bottle in the piping bag at a spot where you guys can see it. So when I do this off camera, it turns out so much better. But when I try to do it on camera, it's hard because of the angle that I'm trying to get for you guys. So don't look at my artwork here. I'm just getting this for you guys and doing my best. It is hard to record yourself and pipe something at a certain angle. Thank God it's thick enough to put it on its side. So usually I really take my time and I pipe around and you move it around in a circle or kind of like a zigzag back and forth to give yourself all those little frills and stuff. Frills, yeah. You know, and you can, like I said, you can go higher on these. I am so scared that I'm going to go too high, so I haven't yet, but they work out. Nonetheless, they work out good. See, you can twist. I'm telling you, it's so hard to record and do this. It's just harder, but you guys will do fantastic. I have so much faith in you guys that you will do better than my videoing pretties, because that is so hard. I love the little peaks on the top because it really makes it look like a push pop. I mean, they're so cute. I should have did a couple on video and then did a few off video, so I would have some really pretty ones to show, but I did all the ones pretty much on camera. But look at that. Isn't that so pretty? And I told you, like, that green and that pink's going to come out, and then they're going to mesh together to make another color, like that orangey color, and it's just pretty. But you can go pretty high on these. Just don't do a me like I did in the very beginning and get it on the edges. Because I did, because I was trying to figure out the angle to show you guys how to pipe. Oh, so pretty. I just love it. And there's some tips that are big, but the little spiky things at the end are a little more closed, and those turn out good too. But I piped on camera, and so we get what we got. So I put them in the freezer and let them set up, and I'm going to show you how I package. So I take some alcohol on a pad, and I'm going to put the lids on everything first. See how much higher you could go on these? You got room to play here. So I put all the lids on, and then I'm going to go through with that alcohol, and I'm going to wipe them all down, because I'm going to label actually on video for you guys too, which is a rarity, because usually I have to wait for things to set or whatever before I can do that. I like to clean everything off, because honestly, you don't even realize how much oil you get onto your products just from your hands, just from like holding, you know, and your gloves got oil on it. So I like to wipe them all down with some alcohol and then set them off to the side and let them dry. Sometimes I'm impatient and I take a dry one and dry it off, because, you know, I'm an impatient person, but I just have lots to do and no time to sit around and wait sometimes. Yeah, you guys got to see these cute labels though. Look at those. So I just taught myself how to print with an inkjet printer onto clear labels, and I am so proud of myself. And if you guys would like to see how to do that instead of ordering all your stuff, I would love to show you, but I'm so happy that I figured it out. Right now I'm using these kind of opaque ones, and I'm really loving the look. Here I'm just drying it off more, just making sure that it's dry. So no, I didn't put alcohol on there. It's just drying it. Look at these labels. They're so cute. They have a little cactus on them. I'll show you. I mean, you can see it in the beginning of this video, just how cute they are. I'm still learning that I have to go and get a new blade for my cry cut, because I've had the same blade for like 2 years and it's well overdue for a new blade. See that little part? Could have cut it a lot better if I had a new blade. So I would love to see what you guys create. I would love to get your feedback on things. I'm doing the best that I can. If there is anything you would like to see that I have not put out yet, let me know. There's a lot of things on the agenda that are coming out, so just be patient because we have some really great new recipes and videos that will be coming out soon. I hope you guys are loving everything about this account. This is all so new to me, you guys, so I'm trying here the best I can with something so new. But I love having all you guys around, and I would love to see more pictures and stuff which you can post on the Facebook page. I would love to see your creations because I know many of you are very creative. All right, guys, have a good day.